Hi, and welcome to another episode of Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox. The saga of the camper van takes a strange twist. We all know that it was purchased and then dumped literally onto Peter Murrell's mother's house and never to be spoken of again. £110,000 that nobody knew had gone. Certainly not the NEC or even people doing the books, it is alleged. And so you have this camper van that was bought and ostensibly as a battle bus for campaigning up and down the length and breadth of the country, particularly if you're in remote areas where overnight accommodation may have proved difficult. And so, yes, it possibly could have done. It possibly could have done had that actually been used for that purpose. But of course it wasn't. It was just dumped there and it was never driven. And what's more, though, and it's revealed that it was never insured. And so that seems very, very strange. Why would you buy this bus and then not insure it unless you had no intention of ever using it for what you are subsequently claiming it was used for? The whole thing is starting to fall apart, isn't it? It starts to stink, and it kind of looks like this battle bus wasn't so much a campaigning tool. It was more a little payoff, something that they could have when they resigned and retired and moved on. I'm not saying that is the case, of course. I'm just saying it looks like that way. It is perceived as this. Got to cover myself. So we'll take a look at this story, find out what's going on, and why this bus was never, ever insured. So, luxury motorhome seized by the police in SNP finance probe was not insured. The 110,000 Niesman and Bischoff camper van sat outside the home of Nicola Sturgeon's mother-in-law for 2 years. I don't know why they keep saying Nicola Sturgeon's mother-in-law rather than Peter Murrell's mother. Anyway, the SNP's luxury motorhome was seized by police and it was never insured, the Sunday Mail can reveal. The 110,000 Niesman and Bischoff camper van sat outside the home of Nicola Sturgeon's mother-in-law for 2 years. And sources close to the investigation into SNP finances said the swanky motorhome, which we revealed last week had been bought from a dealer in Stafford, near Birmingham, had never been insured. One said, it raises questions about the SNP story that it was for campaigning. It makes no sense. If this was bought for campaigning, it would have been insured and it would have been used for that. You can argue that there is a case had it been used for that, but it wasn't. And also, if it was going to be used for that, why were they so secretive about the purchase? Why does nobody have a recollection? Why is there no evidence of who signed off on it? And why did the NEC know nothing? They said if this was the case, surely it would have been insured in case the party wanted to use it. Well, yes, it would have been insured had its intended use been indeed to travel, to campaign, and to use as overnight accommodation in the wilds. But of course, it was never for that. At least that's how it appears. Party insiders previously claimed that the motorhome was supposed to function as a campaign battle bus in the run-up to the 2021 Holyrood election, as the country was in the grip of a coronavirus pandemic. And I think that was just the excuse they were using. Obviously, how do you write off £110,000 worth of goodies for an individual, or a pair of individuals in this case, without it attracting too much attention? It is absolutely has the air, I can't say it has the air of corruption. It has the look and smell of corruption. And that, I think, is what people are starting to see. Anyway, but as the restrictions were gradually eased, plans for the van were then ditched, and for 2 years it remained in the driveway of ex-SNP Chief Executive Peter Murrell's mother. Yeah, they're saying this. They're trying to build this narrative that it was bought for one purpose, that then that purpose changed. Well, if the purpose changed, surely just sell it. Or indeed, in the first place, if you needed one for things like that, you'd rent it, wouldn't you? You'd lease it for a couple of 6 weeks or whatever the election campaign time was. You wouldn't necessarily go out and spend 110,000 on it. Anyway, it was seized from the Dunfermline property on April the 5th, the same day Murrell, who has been married to Sturgeon for 13 years, was arrested, and the house he shares with the ex-First Minister Nicola Sturgeon was raided by police. The police probed, dubbed Operation Branchform. Well, it's not dubbed Operation Branchform, it's called that. Is also examining more than 1,000 transactions on Amazon, the purchases of fancy cookware and expensive pens, and officers have been hunting for unregistered SIM cards. Honestly, it is like a criminal organisation, isn't it? You know, it's got all the trappings of organised crime. It really, given that this is the SNP, disorganised crime, because I don't think they were clever enough to actually organise too much. Anyway, the Scottish Labour spokesman said, the camper van story, flimsy as it was, continues to unravel for the SNP. The public deserves answers about exactly why this party thought what they were up to. An SNP spokesman said these issues are subject to a live police investigation. The SNP have been cooperating fully with this investigation and will continue to do so. However, it is not appropriate to publicly address these issues during this time. Yes, it is. It is perfectly appropriate to do this. This information is already in the public arena. And even chief police officers are saying you're perfectly fine to talk about it and address the issues. The fact is you're trying to use this lie that it's not appropriate because of an ongoing police investigation to avoid scrutiny, to avoid answering questions in the vain hope that these questions will go away. Well, these questions won't go away. You will continue to be pushed on it. And when the police investigation does finally come to a close, we have to ask what excuse you'll try to come up with to avoid answering those questions then. Because avoid you will. Because the truth is so damaging for you. You dare not utter its name. And it's very sad. Anyway, I shall round off there. I shall come up, which will finish off this video. I think it is clear that everything about this stinks to high heaven. It is absolutely a joke that they claim this was for campaigning or this was to be a battle bus or anything like that. It is absolutely ludicrous. It is quite clear that anyone looking in who would be in any way objective would see this for what it is. It's grift. It's money for nothing. It's a reward to people off the books, allegedly. We can't guarantee it, and I don't want to get sued, so we'll have a few allegedly sprinkled in here. But it was absolutely not used for what they claimed it was used for. And then the fact it wasn't insured confirms this, if any confirmation should be needed, that this was all a lie and a cover-up and some attempt to extricate themselves from what will undoubtedly be seen as corruption. Anyway, I shall stop there. Thank you very much for watching. If you like what you're seeing here on the channel, please hit that subscribe button, ring that bell, leave a like, leave a comment, please share the video. And until next time, stay safe, stay well, don't get on any strange buses, and goodbye.